Since the beginning of time, our planet as we know it has been undergoing vast changes. It is a force of nature that has allowed life to sustain itself for thousands of years. Unfortunately, this has taken a turn for the worse. But what changed? Since the age of the Industrial Revolution, technology has advanced miraculously. However, an underlying byproduct has risen from these progressions. The harmful pollutants expelled by many of humanity's technologies have caused and are continuing to cause detrimental effects on our planet. This planetary transformation has become more commonly known as global warming. Some of the major effects of global warming include stronger and more frequent natural disasters, rapidly rising sea levels, extinction of many of our animal species, and decreased food production. Unless a worldwide effort is made to counter the effects of climate change, these effects will become an irreversible and realistic part of our near future. Let's take a look more into how climate change affects natural disasters. To begin, the rapid change in climate around the globe is causing various weather changes worldwide. This means that dangers such as hurricanes, tornadoes, and even thunderstorms will become much stronger and occur more frequently than they do today. According to NASA's article on climate change, changes in climate not only affect average temperature, but also extreme temperatures, increasing the likelihood of weather-related natural disasters. If global climate change causes the global average temperature to rise, there would be less cold weather and a greater possibility of hot and record hot weather. An increased level of natural disasters will hinder the human race's existence dramatically. Imagine if a major city, such as New York, were to be directly hit by the strongest recorded hurricane in history. The result would be catastrophic. In order to prevent the occurrence of extreme natural disasters, the effects of climate change must be reversed as soon as possible. Consequently, another major effect of climate change includes rapidly rising sea levels.
Due to various human activities, such as burning of fossil fuels, Earth's atmosphere has trapped enormous amount of gases. These gases have caused the Earth's surface temperature to rise, leading oceans to absorb the heat. This has set a chain reaction, causing the sea levels to rise. The rise in sea level is due to three primary factors, such as thermal expansion, melting of glaciers and ice caps, loss of ice mass from Greenland and Antarctica. Thermal expansion is due to expansion of water, since density of water goes down with increase in temperature. Melting of glaciers is the second contributor towards sea level rise. One of the best documented examples is that of Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest peak in the African continent. Glacial ice, which was present for many centuries, has decreased by about 80%. The melting back of glaciers lead to water shortages to the areas that rely on the runoff. The third process causing the sea level rise is the loss of ice mass from Greenland and Antarctica. Scientists believe that the temperature rise above and below has lubricated ice streams, causing them to move quickly into the sea. Rising sea level would have a wide range of impacts in coastal environments and infrastructure. Over 600 million people live in coastal areas that are less than 10 meters above sea level. Some island nations are in danger of losing their freshwater supplies. Climate change has caused inconsistencies in agricultural conditions. Threats to global food production include risks to grain, vegetable and food crops, livestock and fisheries. Shifting of rainfall patterns delay planting and harvesting. Prime growth temperature may shift to higher latitudes, where soil and nutrients may not be as suitable for producing crops, leaving lower areas less productive. This in turn can lead to decline in milk yields as they are interlinked. Rising seawater temperature affects marine life. For example, cod in the North Atlantic require water temperature below 54 degrees Fahrenheit. The rise in temperature has reduced the survivability of young cods. Life cycle of salmon is also threatened due to the rising temperature in the northwest waters. An Intergovernmental Panel on Climatic Change (IPCC) was founded in 1988 to assess the impact and propose strategies to mitigate these impacts. Adapting to the way we produce food, farm our lands, and treat our environment will be the key to mitigate the effects of climate change and to ensure global food security.
Aside from the other topics in which we've covered, another dangerous impact of global warming is the extinction of many animal species. According to an article from The Guardian dated January 10th of 2016, 1 in 6 of the world's plant species face extinction due to global climate change. Why does plant extinction matter? Plant species support the local environment in which animals live. Plant species are also the main source of food for certain animal species. The regions of the world most affected by this change in climate are going to be Australia, New Zealand, and South America. The United States and Europe will be least impacted due to our geographical locations and the technologies which we have. The 7 species that will be hit and have been hit the hardest by this change in the climate will be the orange-spotted filefish, found in the Indo-Pacific, the culvert tree, found in southern Africa, the polar bear, native to the Arctic Ocean regions, the Adeline penguin, which is common along the Arctic coast, the northern cod, which is widely found throughout the Atlantic Ocean, Arctic Ocean, and the Baltic Sea, coral reefs found throughout the world. In fact, 16% of these coral reefs have already died due to the increasing water temperatures. And we're talking only 2 to 4 degrees of a temperature change. And already extinct is the golden toad, which was native to Costa Rica. Though the information in these studies being done are scary, it is not over. Changes can be made to slow or stop this process that is already underway. With at least slowing temperature change by, once again, 2 to 4 degrees, some of these species may be able to adapt or even possibly survive. So in conclusion, we have discussed the topic of the dangers and effects of climate change. Julian has introduced you to the topic of the dangers and effects of climate change. Cliffy has covered food preparation and the rising sea levels. And finally, I have discussed the topic of extinction of many species. The dangers and effects of global climate change are happening. The causes are known, and there are things that can be done. As G.I. Joe once said, knowing is half the battle. The flip side of that quote is to then do something about it. Thank you, and I hope you've learned a bit about climate change and that it will get you to do something within your control to determine the outcome of this global crisis.